What's up, Colin? Hello, Julie. What's up, Jake, Mason, Jason again, Javier. What's up, Sam? I'll give everyone a few minutes here to get in here. Yo, Keith. Yankees game, huh? What's up, Kyle? Hi, Tilly. What's Mike Schmidt like? I never met Mike Schmidt. Aaron, hello. Evan. What's up, Mark? Ben. Tyler. Is that Rushan? Went by too fast. Anthony, Steven. Shout out to Josh. Hi, Scott. I like Tim Tebow. I haven't followed him, but I like him. Ever met Chris? Chris who? Ice cream. I love ice cream. Good exit velo for a 13U. I'm not, off the top of my head, I don't really know. I'd have to look that up and see what all the guys on our team are. How about them Reds? Yeah, Reds. Mississippi State or Louisville? Are they on right now? I've been so busy. Hi, JD. I've been so busy that I have not turned my television on in a month. It feels like. I don't know if you can see the bags under my eyes. I always have bags under my eyes, but they're really bad now because I've just had a lot of work lately. Maybe I'll put the game on while we're talking. NBA draft. Yeah, don't tell me what happened in the NBA draft. I have a recording. I don't want to know anything, so nobody tell me. If you tell me, I kick you. I'll have to kick you out of here. You play at NEBC in Northborough? I do too. Most of the parks in the major leagues had great spreads, so the Dodgers was one that I thought wasn't that great of a spread, but. World Series predictions. I did a video on this at the beginning of the year before the year started. I picked probably a very popular pick. I picked the Astros to beat the Dodgers. No, I'm not a big golf guy. I stink at golf. I'd like to play more, but I had 3 wrist surgeries, and my wrist hurts after I play golf, so I can't really practice. 44 gloves, I've never used them enough, so I can't really say, but I've seen some people with them, and they seem pretty good. Yeah, Austin Riley is a big, strong dude that can hit. We lost in the championship game in high school 2 nights ago. Our teams are doing good. High school is now over, and so now, travel ball was going on during that, but I coach our travel ball, obviously I coach our travel ball teams, but I also coach high school also, so now it's just high school. No more high school, just travel ball for the rest of the summer. Yeah, we play fall ball. We don't have a ton of teams playing in fall ball, but we've got a couple for guys that don't play a fall sport and want to keep playing. Yeah, that was crazy. Scherzer throwing with a broken nose. How much do you know Columbia? Columbia, the country? I knew some guys that I played with that were from Columbia. I personally coach our 17-year-old team, but I'm at all the team's practices throughout the year, so. Son? Who do you think will win the World Series? Astros. I was a Nike guy and an Under Armour guy, so I haven't worn either in a while, but I really liked Nike when I was with them. I lived in Syracuse, yeah. I played for the Syracuse Chiefs. What did I say? What's a good way to what? Remember something? Oh, Joshua, thank you so much for the $5. It's going too fast. Let me see what you said for the super chat. Would you come play in the Australian Baseball League? I can't play baseball anymore. I'm old. I'm hurt. My wrist hurts. My back hurts. So I can't play anywhere. Back in the, if I was if I was still actually playing, I might think about it. Probably depend. I don't know much about the Australian League, actually. I don't really know anything. So I'd have to do some more investigating, I guess. Did I ever feel burnt out? I mean, you definitely get tired. Was I overrated? I don't know. I don't know what I'm rated, so I wouldn't say I ever got burnt out. No, you just get tired. It's a long season. Is my kid gonna be a beast? I don't know. He's 4, so we'll see. I actually have a couple of slump. Go on. You're on YouTube right now. I made a couple of videos about getting out of a slump, and they're pretty in depth. And probably it would take me a long time to kind of talk about it all. I am not the GOAT of baseball. No, I haven't read Jason Kendall's book, but I'll have to get it. I do know Chris Coughlin. I was teammates with him in the Arizona Fall League. I like him a lot. He's a good dude. Yeah, I'm better than Trout. I don't know Zach. I mean, I've seen his stuff, but I don't know him. Would I want my son to play in the MLB? If he wanted to. If he didn't want to, then, well, he would never make it if he didn't want to. I wouldn't think so. Dance, please. I can't dance. I mean, I can dance okay, but I can't dance right now. Yeah, you get goosebumps a lot when you play in front of a big crowd and something happens, like you hit a big home run and stuff like that. So yeah, definitely. Which Colombians? Ernesto Frieri was a teammate of mine for a while. I know he was from Colombia. Who else was from Colombia? Off the top of my head, I can't even remember, but I played with so many guys from Colombia and Venezuela, Dominican, Mexico, and everywhere. Cuba. My all-star ballot, I didn't actually pick anybody because I've been so busy. Big scap guy. I got a couple videos on like pullback, which is basically using your scap, but I actually don't talk a lot about. I don't say the word scap a whole lot. But yeah, I guess I do talk about the back. So yeah, I guess scap. How did I start my own travel organization? We just started with a couple of teams. I coached one, my dad coached one, and we had one other coach. And then we just slowly built from there. So we started really small. What do you think about Driveline Baseball? I think they do a really good job. I listened to their podcast, and I bought Hacking the Kinetic Chain a couple years ago. They have great stuff. Hi, from Tokyo, Japan. Wow. Thanks for hanging out. I think you might write on a couple of my videos, I believe. Maybe not. I can't come to the game. Would you play? You play GBG Hawks Blue? Is that what team you play on? I can't come to the 15-year-old game because I have a 17-year-old game at the same time. I ever won a championship, not in the major leagues. I won a high school championship. I won a AA championship. Hi, son. Let's say Nigeria? Is that what that said? I went to a Red Sox game a couple nights ago. I have hit off a couple of knuckleballers. Just had TJ. I mean, I guess the big advice is just take your time, don't get discouraged, and just keep working hard, and you'll come back hopefully perfectly fine. Hopefully better than you were before. I don't know Zach. No, I don't know him. I know who he is. I don't know him. When was your first homer? Like, my first homer ever was 12-year-old year in Little League. I can vividly remember it. Hit a high fly ball to center field that went over the fence by about a foot, and it was the greatest feeling of all time. I don't have a favorite team. I watch the Red Sox because they're on TV, but I don't have a team that I really cheer for. Will you golf with me tomorrow? Tomorrow's actually my first day off from baseball in like 150 days, I think. So we just lost in high school. I don't have travel ball tomorrow. I didn't do any lessons. I took the whole day off. My daughter's birthday is today and her party's on Saturday, so I'm taking that off to get ready for the party. Any tips for middle infield? I mean, I have a ton of tips. The same thing. I would go on our YouTube page, go to the infield playlist. I've got like literally 100 videos on middle infield play. I'm a Joey Gallo fan too. Thanks. I will tell her happy birthday. Hey, TD, thank you so much for the $2. Let's see what your question is. Are any MLB dugouts air conditioned? No, I don't remember any dugouts being air conditioned. So usually in the dugouts, you have, if it's really cold, then they're gonna have like these kind of like space heater things. They're like, well, I don't even know if that's what you call them. They're these big things that are just blowing out like a huge flame. And you probably see, you see them mostly if you watch like NFL games. When it gets really cold, you see the players putting their hands next to them. They have those. And then if it's really hot, you don't typically see fans. There are some dugouts that have fans in them. One, where was I, that had a fan with like a mister coming out of it, which was awesome. And then usually there'll be like buckets. There'll be like buckets with towels. So there's buckets of water and ice with towels in it, and usually like a little ammonia. And it feels really good when you put it on your head when it's really hot. Steroid users getting into the Hall of Fame. I think just let them in, because I think the steroid hitters were facing steroid pitchers, and they were facing steroid infielders and outfielders, and not a lot of the league. People are always like, everybody was on steroids. Like, it's not true. People always say to me, like, when I was playing, like, yeah, everybody you played against on steroids. Like, I never went on steroids, and I never saw anyone inject steroids. I've seen two people in my whole career talk about steroids, that they were on them, and that's it. 2 people. I'm sure there's obviously a lot more than that. Some of them just don't tell anybody, but I know that not everybody was on steroids. Oh, another super chat. What do we got here? 2 more super chats. Hold on one sec, guys. Mark, thank you so much. What's the best wood bat for 13U? So wood bats, in my opinion, a lot of it is personal preference. And sometimes I think people think like the more expensive wood bats are like the better wood bats. I don't always think that's the case. I think, so this is a hard question to answer. I think a lot of wood bat has to do with your feel and making sure you get a wood bat that's right for you. So in my experience, I've used wood bats that were far too heavy, and I've used some where the barrel was just too big and I just couldn't swing the big barrel. And I thought like, oh, a bigger barrel I'll make more contact, and I made less contact. Couldn't square the ball up, and I couldn't get the barrel there. It was just too much bat for me. So I went to a smaller barrel, went to a C271, and I went to a lighter bat, and then all of a sudden I started crushing the ball. It wasn't because it was like a better bat or a better company or anything like that. It was just the bat fit me better. So I think it's important to make sure that the bat is the right size for you. I'd always, when it comes to wood bats, I'd always go, maybe if you're not sure where you are, go with the lighter, typically go with the lighter, smaller option, and make sure you can handle it. I just see a lot of kids that can't handle the wood bat, especially at 13U. I mean, most kids can't handle a wood bat at 13U. That's gonna be really hard. But I don't know if that answered your question, but there's so many bat companies, and they all make good wood. So I can't say like one bat company is way better than the other. I just think it's personal preference. Make sure that whoever's hitting, the player gets the bat that fits them the best. Hopefully that helps. Okay, I got a bunch of super chats to get to real quick. Hold on one second. John, thank you so much. My exit velo is 76 miles an hour. Is that good for 13U? Yeah, that's very good. I don't know. I don't get super caught up on exit velos with young guys. I mean, we do track all of it because we want exit velo is important. Obviously, if you can hit the ball harder, you're gonna be able to hit the ball further. You're gonna get through the infield faster. You're gonna hit over outfielders' heads, get through the outfield. I mean, all those good things. You're gonna slug more. So it's important, but it also isn't like the end all be all. So, but 76 is really high. Like for a 13-year-old, I would say Who's our best 13-year-old? Obviously a lot of it depends on just the size of the kids at 13 years old. If you happen to just be one of those players that hit a growth spurt really early, you might be huge. I mean, you're clearly going to crush the young kids or the little kids. But again, you've got to make sure that you've got a good swing also, and it's not just because you're big and strong. When you put a really good swing together, one that's really quick with good bat path, and you have good exit speed because you have good bat speed, then you can become a really good hitter. So it's a long answer to your question, but yes, 76 is very good. All right, what do we got here? It's always hard for me to scroll through these things. EJ, thank you so much. Did you know Ricky Henderson is in Toy Story 4? No way. I'm going to go see Toy Story 4 actually next week. I'm going to take our kids to go see it, and I kind of want to see it too. Eli, thank you so much for the super chat. Do you know of any coach training? It depends what you want to get training for. If it's something specific, there's certain coaching certifications. Typically, there's mostly like pitching ones, although I think Driveline's coming out with one for pitching, but they might also do hitting. Coach training's a tough one. Like, a lot of people have actually told me that I should do some type of coach training and have coaches in and go over everything, or spend a couple hours on hitting, on infield play, catching, base run, all that stuff, which maybe in the future we will do. Right now we don't do that. I just have so many things that are going on that I don't honestly have any time to do that. But I would have to do some research, because honestly I've seen coach training around, but I don't know which ones I would recommend. Thomas, thank you so much. I have tickets to the Cardinals versus Brewers game in August. Is there anything I should be looking for in a rivalry game like that? I don't know if there's anything you should be looking for. I mean, I always enjoy going to rivalry games. I grew up going to Red Sox-Yankees games, which always, to me, seemed like they were the most fun games because the fans are really into it. The Red Sox fans are screaming, "Yankees suck." And every play seems to be like a play. Even if it's not the playoffs, it feels like it's playoff atmosphere, which is great. So anything to watch for? I don't know if there's anything to watch for, but the intensity of the game should definitely be picked up a few notches, even though we're kind of only in like the middle of the season. My phone. Thank you. Were you in an MLB video game, and did you play it? I was in a couple MLB video games. I get a lot of people on Instagram that are always sending me videos of them playing with me in like video games. Either they create a player, or if you're really old and are playing the games that I was in back in the day. So I was in I made my major league debut in 2008. So I think I'm in like the 2009 games. I was on the big league roster in 2010 also, so I think I'm in probably that game and maybe the 2011 game. So a bunch of those years I'm in it. I'm either on the big league team or I'm in AAA in the minor leagues. I'm sure my attributes are horrendous. I never really played with myself. I told this story before. The one game I did play with myself was the NCAA game. When I was a sophomore or junior in college, I don't remember which one, they had a game for Xbox. Well, at least I had Xbox. I don't know if it was on PlayStation also. But it was an NCAA game, and so we'd always, me and my buddies, when I was at Wake Forest, we'd always be Wake Forest. But I got so pissed because my attributes were just terrible. Like, when I was in college, I was fast with a good eye, didn't have a ton of power, and I was like, in the video game, I was like slow, like struck out a lot, and so I just didn't enjoy playing that game very much. I think we played the first day, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna go be like Florida State now instead of Wake Forest because I don't like my attributes. All right, I'm still getting through these. Everyone bear with me. Billy Batson, thank you so much. How do you feel about the Braves? Ever been to the ATL? I'm going to Atlanta next week, actually. I have been to Atlanta a lot. I have not been to a Braves game in Atlanta. Last year when I went to Atlanta, they were on the road. 2 years ago, it rained like every day I was there. This year, hopefully they'll be home. I'll go check out a game. But I'm a Braves fan. I think they've got a ton of young, exciting talent. Mixed in with some veteran players that are really good. So I am a Braves fan for sure. Whoa, Graham, thank you so much for this. My son is 10 and is obsessed with the game. We are in the off season. here in Arizona, and he still wants to go to the field every day. Should I force him to take a break? I'm worried about burnout. It's a really good question. You're in a different, so being in Arizona, obviously you can play every single day. I grew up in Massachusetts where I couldn't. And so I kind of was forced to take time off because in the winter, can't really play. Nowadays, they have a ton of indoor training buildings, facilities. When I was younger, they didn't. And so it's a good question. I think that if he really enjoys playing, let him play. I would encourage him to try some other sports. But I mean, there's some kids that just don't want to play other sports. They try and they're like, I don't like this sport. I want to play baseball. If that's the case, then I wouldn't try to not let him play. I mean, when I was a kid, again, I was playing a bunch of different sports, but I also like wanted to play baseball all the time. You know, so we'd play baseball all spring, all summer, and then like I'd play games, and then we'd go to like the pool, and we'd play more pickup games. We'd play wiffle ball, and we just like play baseball all day long. And I mean, I never got burnt out because I love to do it. And so I think if he loves it, just let him go with it. I think kids get burnt out. In my opinion, they get burnt out when they don't enjoy it, and then they're like forced to go do it. I think some of those kids get burnt out. Now, I will say it probably is a good idea to take a little time off with his arm. Maybe give him a little bit of rest. Maybe pick a month where he can take some time off. Maybe not throw. Maybe just take it all off just to let his body recoup a little bit. But I think it'll be okay if he really loves it, honestly. Tindro? Thank you so much. Thoughts on the Twins, and did you think Rocco Baldelli could change the clubhouse as quick as he did? Love the videos. Thanks so much. So again, I know the Twins have been like really good this year. I've only watched them play a couple times. The game I saw them play, they hit like 7 homers or something like that. They were just like crushing balls all over the place. Seems like they've got, I mean, it seems like they can really hit. Again, I have not followed them enough. The Twins are like, I honestly, I just don't know a lot about them. But what was your question? I already forget your question. Yeah, Rocco Baldelli. He's done an amazing job, obviously. And again, I think, and I don't know where these players came from. I don't know how many of them have just been in the system. I'm not sure. I don't know enough again. But I think it's always a combination. Like when these things happen, I think it's a combination of obviously players and talent, and then also a manager being able to do a good job of putting the team in a good situation, all the right situations, and then also doing a good job in the clubhouse. But I think it's probably a little bit of both. John, thank you so much. I'm 5'6". I weigh 145 pounds. Also, my batting average is 645. That's pretty good average for travel. I just hit, oops, it disappeared, my growth spurt, but still I'm growing. Also, my pitching velo is 67. Let's see. Oh, no question, but I don't think you have a question. That's, I mean, 5'6", 145, you're just starting to grow, like, everybody, in my opinion, like, the biggest thing, I always tell our guys, like, I don't get too concerned with how big or small guys are. I actually think guys that maybe hit their growth spurt a little bit later sometimes have an advantage because if they're not super big and not super strong, they've got to really have efficient mechanics, whether it's hitting or pitching, whatever. They have to use their body really well. And so once those players learn how to use their body really well and then they get bigger later, sometimes they have an advantage because now they've got a great swing or they've got great throwing mechanics, and then they get bigger and stronger and everything really comes together. Sometimes the guys that hit their growth spurt early and they're just big and huge and they don't need a really good swing to hit the ball far, they don't need great throwing mechanics to throw hard because they're so big. Well, then when everyone else starts to catch up to them, sometimes those players start to fall back because they've always just kind of relied on their physical attributes instead of the actual mechanics of whatever it is we're talking about. So I know that wasn't your question, but just a little tidbit. And same thing with your average and stuff. Like, I don't, honestly, with like our young teams, I don't even keep averages. I always tell them, like, some people get so caught up, like, you know, we've got kids as young as 10 and everyone's like, what's my batting average? And I'm like, I don't care what your batting average is. Like, I'm worried about the type of at-bats you're having. I'm worried about your swing. I'm worried about, you know, things that you can control and not so much the average. So we talk about getting a good pitch to hit, hitting the ball hard, and after that, like I really don't care what happens. Again, I don't think you asked me that question, but figured I would just chime in with that. Good luck to you, by the way. Earthquake Sports, thank you very much. How can I get into a college baseball team? So, the first piece of advice I would give you, because we could talk about this for like 10 hours, is if you go on our YouTube channel to our playlist and go to I have like 50 recruiting videos, and I have more coming out. I got one coming out soon. I literally tell you exactly like every thought I have about how to get recruited, and that's probably your best bet, because I could sit here and talk forever. We had a recruiting talk at the beginning of this season with our older teams, and it was like a 3-hour meeting, and I talked about the whole recruiting process, and I probably could have talked for like another 5 hours. So I don't want to bore everyone with that, but definitely go and check that out. Okay, those are all the super chats. I think I got to everyone. And I'll get back to some regular questions. Pitcher teammate who hit bombs in BP. Ooh, that's a good one. Who hit the most bombs in BP for pitchers? You know who hit some pretty good bombs was Peacock. So I was with him in Syracuse. Now he's with who? The Astros. And he swung the bat pretty good. It was pretty impressive. Oh, I got another super chat. Hold on one sec. What do we got here? Let's see. TD, thank you so much. What's a typical range of how many cleats or gloves MLB pitchers use per season? So I was never a pitcher, so I don't know. I mean, I never really followed or kept track of what they did. I'll tell you from my experience as a position player, and it's probably somewhat similar, except the glove part of it. Like, sometimes infielders can like really fall in love with a glove and want to use it forever. But for cleats, I would usually use, I would say on average, I use probably like 3-4 pairs of cleats a year, maybe. When you're playing every day, like, and some people use way more than that. But for me, like, let's just say you're playing in 30 spring training games and say 100, let's say you're playing about 200 games. I would say that I would probably wear the same cleats. Yeah, maybe I'd use actually a little bit more than 3-4 pairs, maybe a couple more pairs than that. But I would honestly, I like wearing stuff for a long time. Like, I wear my batting gloves until they basically rip. I wear my cleats until they start to like really get beat up and chewed up. That's just a comfort thing for me. Some people like to be in new cleats all the time. So tough to really say. And then what was it? Gloves. Oh yeah, gloves. I would use the same glove for like multiple years in a row, because if I really liked that, I didn't want to ever get rid of it. Same thing, I'd wear it until it broke, started to rip or something. And I made a video about that, how my glove got stolen in the major leagues, and that's the only reason why I go into new gloves. So, couple more super chats. Hold on one sec. Thank you so much, Joe. Thank you very much. Best secondary pitch for a 9-year-old. So for a 9-year-old, that's a good question. So we don't have a 9U team, so we don't work with players. We don't have any 9-year-olds. But we always start, I'll say this, we always start with throwing the fastball, right? And so we're working on two things. One, we're just working on like overall throwing mechanics, using our body really well. So the actual throwing mechanics, and we let our guys like just let it eat and throw freaking hard. And then, so that's the biggest thing. First, we want to teach them, like, we never start with like just throwing strikes, because I don't want them to feel like they're throwing darts and start pushing the ball to home plate. So it's all, for me, it's really about throwing the hell out of the ball and creating some really good arm action and using your body really well. Then as he gets a little bit older, maybe you start working a little bit more on command. But again, don't go crazy with it. I see so many people that are like just so concerned about throwing strikes and making sure that they put the ball right where they want it. And at 9 years old, it's like, for me, if you do that, then you take away some of their natural athleticism and the way the body should really work naturally. So I would really focus on that, like getting him to just rip it and create really good mechanics and stuff. I don't even know if you need to work on a secondary pitch at 9 years old. As players get a little bit older, like with our 11s, again, we'll start to mess around with like a changeup grip, and we'll let some players, if they can show us that they can throw a curveball and throw it the right way, then we'll let them throw a curveball. We don't say like no curveballs before a certain age, but they've got to be able to throw the ball. They've got to be able to throw it the right way. But I don't know if there's any. I think either one, changeup, curveball, is fine. I think. All right, let's see. Got a couple more. Billy, thank you again. If you come to Atlanta, I'd love to meet you. Well, maybe I'll do maybe I'll do a YouTube live while I'm down there. So I'm going down for a tournament, and it just depends how the tournament goes. Sometimes I'm at the field for 24 hours a day, and sometimes I'm not. So I'll shoot out maybe an Instagram or something if I have some time down there. See what you're doing. What are your thoughts on the Red Sox down season? Well, I think that I think it's really difficult to, I'll say this: they've had spurts. Obviously, they have a lot of talent. I think last year, like, everything went right. I mean, they had one of the greatest years ever, and so everything went right. I think this year, not everything has gone right. I think it's really hard to play 2 years in a row of like that type of baseball. With that being said, I still think they have a ton of talent. And it's a really, really long season. And so I wouldn't be surprised if I think they're playing better of late. Again, I haven't turned my television on in a long time because I've been so busy at baseball every day. But it would not surprise me if all of a sudden they really start clicking and rolling again. Can you send me some how to get better stuff? So I don't have, literally everything I have, I put on YouTube. I don't keep like any secret information. So I don't even have anything that I could really send you, I don't think. But I've probably made like over 1,000 instructional videos on here. So anything you want to know, pretty much anything you want to know, is on our YouTube channel. If there's not something up there, then shoot me a message, shoot me like an email, or comment on one of our videos. I look at all the comments and just tell me what you want to learn, what you want me to teach you, and I will. Fruit Loop, thank you very much. How much do bullpen catchers make? So this is another question. Like I don't know. I think when I was playing, I played a long time ago. This could be way off, but I feel like our bullpen catcher said he made like 60-something thousand for the year, but then would get tipped from players. So like players would give him tips. How much of those tips, I don't know. Again, that could be off, but I feel like that's what he told me. Or maybe not told me, but I can't remember. We're having a conversation one day, maybe a bunch of us or something. I just, for some reason, feel like that was a number. But I have no idea what they make in 2019. I'm not really sure. All right, let me get back to a couple more of these questions. So I'm going to take a few more questions. And then, like I said, I have to, my daughter's birthday party is on Saturday, so I have to, like, start doing a bunch of stuff. Actually, I have to get to bed because I got to wake up, like, probably at 6 a.m. to get my work done so I can start getting all that stuff done. Let's see here. Junior high coach here. I'm looking into setting up a pitcher-catcher camp. Any tips on how to run it? That's a really hard question. I'd have to think about that and probably talk to you for a while. Because pitcher-catcher camp, we have never had just a strict pitcher-catcher camp before. We actually haven't had a whole lot of camps. So off the top of my head, I have no idea. I literally would have to think about this. And it would depend a lot on probably how many kids you have, what type of facility you have, or if you're doing it outdoors, what type of bullpen setup do you have. It would just be a lot of questions. Thoughts on switch hitters? If you can switch hit and you can do it well, then awesome. I think it's really hard. It's really hard to hit from one side of the plate, never mind two. So we play your team tomorrow, Diamond Nation. Oh, nice. What team are you on? I don't even know who we're playing tomorrow. Yes, our tournament is at Lake Point. Yes. We don't play every game at Lake Point, though. Are the balls juiced? Seems like it. There's a lot of home runs. If I could play college ball anywhere, where would I go? Probably Vanderbilt. they just seem like the program just seems amazing. Obviously, they have a ton of talent, do a great job developing players. They got great facilities. Coach Corbin, I don't know him super well. I've talked to him a couple of times, but he just seems like he'd be like a really good coach to play for, like demanding yet really caring and knowledgeable and all that good stuff. You play Lake Point every weekend? That's awesome. Let me just make sure. Did I see a super? I think I might have saw. I did see a super chat come up, but then message retracted. I don't know where it went, but it's gone. On a tandem relay, how do you communicate with the stadium loud? You guys scream. So on a tandem relay, so like a sure double where both infielders are going out and piggybacking each other. We teach the second guy. We say you're the eyes for the first guy, so you're looking back as you're running out, and you're relaying the call. So if the third baseman's screaming three or left, 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 then you yell left, left, left. Also, a lot of it has to do with like the lead guy and like checking as you're running out there, because you play in like a major league stadium with 50,000 people, you can't really hear your buddy yelling anything. So a lot of times it's like lining up yourself, having a really good feel. Most major league guys have such great feel. They have such great like internal clocks that they know the speed of the runners, and it's really hard to explain. They just got a feel for, even if they don't see the guy, they have a feel for where he is. But it's also about kind of, again, like peeking back as you're running out there. And that way you know where he is, and you can kind of almost do it without even hearing anyone. Are you a fan of the Northwoods League? So I never played in the Northwoods League. I mean, I know about it. I know there's a lot of games. I know it's a hard league. It's a demanding league physically. I would like to go out and check it out and watch some games, but I've never had the opportunity to do that. But I have known players that go out there, and everyone seems to really like it, but they all say that it is a long season. Funniest thing you've seen happen during a baseball game? Awesome channel. Thanks for all the insights. Thanks so much. Well, this is a tough question. The funniest thing that you've ever seen happen during a game? I don't know. I've seen a lot of things. I've been to a lot of games, seen a lot of things happen. I'm trying to think of funny things that have happened. Give me a second to think about that. I have no idea. Actually, give me like 10 seconds. The funniest thing that ever happened in a game? Oh, man. I had, well, I thought this was funny. I've told this story before. It also scared me a little bit. I was in AAA. All the lights went out in the stadium. It was pitch dark. Couldn't see anything. You could only see someone if they were like this close to you. And Brett Dowdy was playing shortstop. I was playing second base. And all of a sudden, like, the lights went out, and he kind of found his way over to me, and we started talking. Then all of a sudden, you kind of like feel something, and like this person like just appears, and it's just like a random dude. I was like, "What's up, man?" He's like, "Nothing. What's going on?" I was like, "Nothing. What are you doing? Where'd you come from?" He's like, "Oh, I'm at the game, watching the game." He's like, "The lights went out, so I hopped in the field and just came over here to say hi." I was like, "All right." So he just sit there and talked to me for a minute. All of a sudden, the lights started to kind of come on finally, and they like slowly popping on. And he just like, "All right, I think they probably they're gonna be looking for me out here." So, and he just took off, hopped the fence, went right back in the stands. I thought that was pretty funny. I guess you had to be there to see it, but that's the first thing that pops into my head. I'd have to literally think about this for a while. All right, let's go for like another minute or two, and then I'm going to have to go to bed. I look exhausted right now. So, recent college grad, how do I get a front office job? So I have no experience in the front office. I've never been in it. I've never tried to get in the front office. I wish I had better advice for you. This is just something that I don't know. I don't even know what I would do. I mean, I will say this. I've gotten I've gotten interviews for some non-front office jobs, some managing jobs, coaching jobs, whatever you want to call it. And a lot of mine have come from the stuff that I put online. And so I've had a lot of teams and stuff reach out to me because they've seen my YouTube or my Twitter. And, that's how they find out about you and what you know. And I'm always putting out baseball stuff. I'm always just putting out information to help players. Not because I wanted anyone to see it. Like I wasn't doing it like, oh, maybe a major league team will see this and want me to, want to hire me. But I did get some interviews because of that. And so I think one way is whatever it is you're interested in, like make a channel. Better Athlete, you or Wade LeBlanc. Well, Wade's got a better shot than I do. I'd beat him in football. He beat me in basketball. I'd beat him in football. I'd crush him in hockey. He doesn't know how to play hockey. We haven't faced each other very much in our careers. Spring training, I faced him. I vividly remember this. I only remember one at bat against him. I hit a line drive right at the second baseman. Hard line drive got me out. So, Wade's a pretty good athlete. I'm faster, though. Oh, yeah, so a front office thing real quick. Sorry, I saw his name. I just wanted to answer that. Front office. So, maybe it's putting out whatever it is you're interested in and just showing people that you know what you're talking about. And again, I don't know how that would relate to the front office. I have no idea what your interests are or what you would want to do. But then it also, just reach out to people. A lot of it is who you know. And so getting to know people and is really important also. Those aren't the best. I'm sure that's not the best advice, but I just don't know much about the whole front office thing. How do you get on one of your teams for 15 years? So all of our teams we have tryouts for all of our teams. And so you got to try out. We have tryouts in July and August. If you go to our website, you'll find out all our dates on there. Oh man, I got a bunch of super chats here. Preston, thank you so much. You should make a video on the Rule 5 draft. The reason I haven't done a video on the Rule 5 draft is because I was never really a part of the rule. Most of my videos are all things that I've been a part of. A lot of people ask me to talk about things I don't know anything about. Like the Rule 5 draft, I don't know anything about. I mean, I know what it is, but you'd probably learn more from somebody else. Or if you just typed in the Google Rule 5 draft, you'd probably learn way more. Because if I was going to do a video on the Rule 5 draft, I'd go to Google, I'd type in Rule 5 draft, and then I'd have to just basically read what I see there. And that wouldn't be I have no personal experience with it. So that's why I've never done one on the Rule 5 draft. Baseball fan, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Preston, you're back again. Come on, man. You gotta start earning some of that money. Well, you just helped me earn $2, buddy. So thank you so much. I appreciate that. It's gonna go towards a couple new baseballs for Antonelli Baseball. Thank you so much. All right. I promise this time. I have 45 minutes. I gotta go. See you, Lex. Thanks, Dan. I appreciate it. Man, I'm covering up my Wake Forest jersey back there. I got to give them a shout out. I said I'd go to Vanderbilt. Whoops. My favorite sport's football by far. I'm obsessed with football. I like Gennaro. What's up, G? Who won the giveaway? I forgot to look. I forgot to give a winner. Sorry about that, G. How did I find out I was getting called up? Find out? I got called into the manager's office after a game in AAA, and he said, "Congratulations, man, you're going to the big leagues." That's how I found out. I love fantasy football. Oh yeah, so football. So I'm obsessed with football. I love baseball. I know a lot about baseball, but I think I like football more. I'm obsessed with football. If football's on, if the NFL was on right now, on a Sunday, I watch it from the first game all the way to I watch every game. So I have, I'm having a mental block right now. Some app on TV, on my Apple TV and my phone, where I can watch every single game, and they cut out, all they do is show the plays. So there's no commercials, there's no between plays, just play. And so I'll watch football from it's a little harder now because I got 2 little kids, so a lot of times I record games now. But when they go to bed, I'll watch every game. I just go on and literally watch game after game after game. Each game is like probably, without the commercial and everything, I think it's probably like, how long are they? 20 something minutes long or something like that, I think. And I'll watch every single game, and I don't get bored of it. I couldn't do that with baseball. I mean, I love baseball, but I would get sick of baseball if I didn't watch that much. I was a huge Manny Ramirez fan, Nomar Garcia-Parra fan, Pedro Martinez fan. Legends or Antonelli? I like the Legends guys, but come on, you know what I'm going to say. Minnesota Twins are awesome this year, man. They got a lot of talent. All right, last question. I already answered about Scherzer pitching last night. He's a maniac and a madman. I don't know enough about I haven't watched the Phillies or Mets enough this year to really say, but what's this travel question? If you're going on the road but have an off day the next day, when do you leave home the same day? You just play it on the next. So it usually depends on where you're playing. I've had off days on the road. It also depends if it's like, it just depends. But like, let's say you're playing in like San Diego and then you're traveling to, I don't know, Colorado. I'm trying to think. We would have a day off at home and then fly out. But again, I think I've had it where we've flown out someplace and had the off day on the road. I don't know. I can't remember exactly. It's been so long. I can't remember exactly when you do which one, but I've had both. Hardest pitch for me to hit was a really good slider, hard slider from a right-handed pitcher. Would be the hardest, well, one of the hardest. A really good split finger is really hard too. Thanks. I want to be in the Hall of Fame also. I'm not a Padres fan. I'm not a fan of anyone. I just watch the players. You know nothing, Jon Snow. Great show, by the way. All right, everybody. I got to go to bed. It's 10:50. I want to try to fall asleep by 11 so I can wake up at 6. Thank you so much. My favorite football team is New England Patriots. I am in love with the Patriots. All right. Thank you all for watching. Yes, they have energy drinks. See, I always say I'm leaving and I keep answering questions. Thank you, everyone, for watching. I appreciate it. I'll try to do more of these. I know a lot of people have been asking me to come on and do more, and I've been trying to, but I've been so busy with baseball. But now that high school baseball is over, I'll have a little bit more time. So I will. When will the next stream be? I don't know. It really just depends on when my kids go to bed and when I don't have a ton of work to do. Even though I have a ton of work to do tonight, and I put it off. So see you, everyone. Have a good night. And I'll see you guys tomorrow night.